Still no clear winner in the local government elections. Another British woman caught with cocaine while there was a drive-by shooting in Olympic Way. This is Undiluted News. Mikey Bones reporting. There is still no clear winner in the local government elections as both parties continue to declare victory. Up to last night, there was no clear winner, and this is when doubt starts to creep into people's mind as to what is really taking place at the electoral office, and that if some people who have lost will suddenly become winners. The electoral office of Jamaica is a big failure. Can you imagine that after 2 days with only a little over 29% people who voted and the final outcome of the election is still unknown? The electoral office received $1 billion, billion with a B, to have this election. And it seems it's a waste of taxpayers' money because how could you have only a few hundred people voting in some constituency and you can't determine who win after 2 days? Seriously, in some constituency, only a few hundred people voted, less than 1,000, and they can't count the votes. In America, where millions vote, how are they able to give the winner within minutes? And don't give me that line about you can't compare Jamaica with America. I won't buy that. This is the age of technology, and Jamaica does have as much technology, and they're computer-wise and savvy as anywhere else in the world. Or is this a trick to get some of the votes switched from one party to give the win to the other? Let's hope that is not the case. But the government needs to take a good look at the leadership of that organization, as he seems to be very lacking. According to local pundits, Jermaine Barrett, Monday's poor voter turnout for the local government election may reflect Jamaica's unhappiness with the management of issues impacting them. According to preliminary ballot counting, voter turnout for the local government election is only 29.6% compared to 30% in 2016. Mr. Barrett thinks that Jamaicans' indifference in politics is sad, and Monday's turnout was a massive waste of the Electoral Commission of Jamaica's $2 billion electoral budget. I remain corrected. It's $2 billion, not $1 billion. Mr. Barrett said amongst the festivities from the election result, there is much work to be done by both major political parties. He said they need to become more people-centered. Meanwhile, the Ocho Rios Police Department in St. Anne is looking for the offender who stole items from an unfinished church and set it on fire. Fire was observed pouring from the Exchange Seventh-day Adventist Church late on Sunday night and early Monday morning. Residents had raised an alert and the Ocho Rios Fire Department responded. The fire destroyed the church interior, including seats and other furniture. Among the missing items were the public address system and construction boards. Meanwhile, a British woman is in jail on drug trafficking accusation. The British woman, whose identity has not been disclosed, was detained on Monday after being detected with nearly 4 pounds of cocaine in her luggage at Montego Bay Sangsters International Airport. According to narcotics police, the British national was prepared to board a departing aircraft to London Gatwick Airport when she was stopped and searched at 3 p.m. on Monday. Her bag included 1.6 kilograms of cocaine with a street value of £38,000 or 7.6 million Jamaican hidden among Jamaican craft products. And she's now anticipated to be questioned and arrested. Meanwhile, 2 guns were seized in different locations on election day. On Monday, 1 man was detained after a weapon was seized at Olympic Way in Kingston 11 during the local government election. And according to Hunts Bay Police, the suspect was noticed acting suspiciously at a voting booth in the vicinity about 12:50 p.m. He was approached and the backpack he was carrying was searched. He was caught with 1 Glock 26 pistol and a magazine containing 5 9mm ammunition. He was detained in connection with that seizure. However, his identity is being withheld awaiting additional investigations. And the other incident, a man was charged with possessing a restricted weapon after police discovered him with an illegal firearm in Middle Quarters in St. Elizabeth on Monday night. He was identified as 49-year-old Leon Taylor, also known as Ganja Baby, of Newtown neighborhood of Black River. According to reports, about 8 p.m., the police unit on mobile patrol in the vicinity saw a man standing behind a white car holding what seemed to be a handgun in his right hand. And according to reports, the man fled when he saw the police. The officers gave chase and the man threw the gun in a garbage bin. He was then detained by police and the garbage bin was examined in his presence. A 9mm handgun with a magazine was allegedly discovered and Taylor was apprehended along with the handgun. He was brought to the Black River Police Station where he was charged. Meanwhile, the Independent Commission of Investigations INDECOM is investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of an inmate at the Ocho Rios Police lockup in St. Anne. Andre Miller, a Bread Nut Hill cabinet maker, died in hospital on Monday 4 days after being discovered unresponsive in his cell at the lockup. Mr. Miller, who was mentally ill, was arrested on assault charges. And according to reports, the cops discovered him in his cell unconscious and bleeding from his nose. And the cause of death will be determined by an autopsy. Meanwhile, 3 persons were hospitalized after a drive-by shooting on Mapleview Road in Olympic Way, Kingston on Monday evening. According to preliminary accounts, at 6:30 p.m., a group of people were on the road when unknown assailants in a white Toyota Probox approached. The men in the car opened fire on the gathering, prompting them to run for cover. The shooters then fled the scene. An alarm was made and the police were notified, and during a search of the area, 3 people were found suffering from gunshot wounds. They were then rushed to hospital for treatment. On to sports, two-time winner Chris Gayle said that the West Indies can win the ICC Men's 2020 World Cup for the 3rd time this year, despite their failure in the past 2 editions of the tournament. He said recent results from the current side under the guidance of head coach Darren Sammy, the captain of the 2 champion sides, and the leadership of fellow Jamaican Rovman Powell were very encouraging. He said they have found a spark over the past 12 months, winning a series against South Africa on the road and India and England on home soil, and Gayle felt it was a sign of bigger things to come in the global showpiece in June. Football, Jamaica has taken control of its CONCACAF Under-20 World Cup qualifying Group F after defeating Grenada 2-0 on Monday at the St. Kitts Technical Center, giving them back-to-back wins and a 6-point average. And after defeating Martinique 1-0 on Saturday's first game, the Jamaicans now need only a point against Bermuda to proceed to the next round. And in the first game of the doubleheader, Martinique beat Bermuda 2-1, and both currently have 3 points, with Grenada out of contention after losing their first 2 games. Meanwhile, despite an improved performance by Jamaica's second-tier senior women's football team, the Reggae Girls lost 1-0 to host Chile in the second and final international friendly encounter last night. The Reggae Girls went down 5-1 to Chile in the first game on Friday, losing 1-0 last night. And don't forget that the best news and sports takes place on this station. If you ever miss the news, please go to YouTube, type in Jamerican Undiluted News, listen, like, share, and subscribe to keep it going. My name is Mikey Bones. Have a wonderful day. I gone.